once you find the light, the truth, that there is something called truth, and it's not a belief system. You don't have to believe in it. And you know the difference between knowing something and believing in something. And once you know that there is this thing called truth, everything changes. Now you finally have a compass. Hey, my friend. I wanted to talk about something I heard the other day on a TV show I was watching with the family. Little House on the Prairie. You're probably familiar with it. Wonderful TV show. Uh, yeah, so there was an episode with a fellow who was blind, and he said something during the show that really struck me, and hence here I am. He said, when you live in the dark, the only light there is truth. And I felt like that was a perfect way of summarizing uh, this human journey towards enlightenment, towards the realization of real truth, a truth that goes beyond just believing that you're, just a little person with a name and a body, and that's it. Because you could say that until you really, really fully awaken to reality, a reality that is beyond an identity, you could say that we are all living in varying degrees of darkness. And so, I've heard it worded like we're all groping through the dark. We're all kind of blind, don't really know what the hell is going on or where we're going. Um, and so, in that instance, what do you have to go on? You know, when you're in the dark, you'll hear some voices. They'll tell you some things. They'll say, oh, truth is this way, truth is that way. And unless it really, really makes sense, really hits home and resonates with your intimate, direct experience of life, you're not quite sure if you should believe that or not, you know? So it's a beautiful thing when you hit a point in your life where you realize what truth is, when you can recognize what truth is, and that's one of the most intimate, beautiful things that can happen to a human being. Because once you find the light, the truth, that there is something called truth, and it's not a belief system. You don't have to believe in it. And you know the difference between knowing something and believing in something. And once you know that there is this thing called truth, everything changes. Now you finally have a compass, and you can place all of the other bits of information that you're given from all these other sources right next to that knowingness, that truth that you now know. And you can use that as, you know, a barometer for truth. And you've always known that if it really is the truth when you hear it, you shouldn't have to believe in it. It also shouldn't make you feel bad. I'm not saying that it should make you feel good necessarily, but you also know that if it makes you feel bad, then there's some kind of unconsciousness or ignorance attached to the information. And that's a telltale sign that you should question it. But when something is spoken, like when you're listening to me right now, you can sense as I'm talking where I'm talking from. And you know that I'm talking from truth because it's sincere. I'm not trying to pull one over you. I'm not trying to deceive you. I don't want you to believe what I'm saying, even. I'm just sharing a sincere experience of life right now. And there's no attachments to that. So it doesn't make you feel bad. I'm not trying to pitch you um, a wonderful story full of rainbows and unicorns. I'm not trying to make you happy. But you could say that through sharing the truth with you, there is a non-causal, an inexplicable peace and joy and love that you can start to feel just by sharing the truth, just by speaking the truth. And what am I saying exactly that makes it the truth? Well, it's not so much what I'm saying, is it? It's where I'm saying it from, where my words are coming from. That's the truth. The truth is an experience, is experiential. Because if it's not experiential, well, then it's hypothetical, right? It requires your mind, it requires thinking. You have to go into imagery in the mind. And images change all the time. Stories about those images change. So when you're in the dark, like all of us 7, 8 billion people on the planet, all we have to go on to transcend this play of confusion is our ability to recognize the truth when it's spoken, when it's pointed out, and to then align ourselves with that, to use that as a reference point that you come back to every single time you start to feel lost or confused. It's the experience of truth that you come back to not feel lost. And the experience of truth is becoming quiet, not trying to analyze anything, trusting that all of the intelligence you need is in that quiet, is in that silence, that you don't actually need anything more than that. And then, of course, the next step is to live from that space of silence where you're not being told anything. You're not adhering to anybody else's information, including your mind's information. And you're just living from that silence. And you're trusting that silence to guide you in a helpful direction. I don't remember where it was spoken. It's probably a biblical thing. But something along the lines of, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. There might be more to that statement, but that's the most important bit. You already know the truth. And once you recognize that you know what the truth is, it doesn't matter that you can't quite put your finger on it, on exactly what that is, but once you know it, just on a deep, intuitive, instinctive level, you start to feel free. Because now you don't need to look outside of yourself to come home anymore. You could say that you were born into a world full of carrots being dangled in front of you. Some carrots looked more appealing than other carrots. And depending on your environment, you reached out for some carrots instead of some other carrots. But all of us have gone through that process of abandoning freedom, abandoning truth in pursuit of that mystical carrot. And really the only thing that snaps you out of that delusion is experience, is living through life long enough, having chased that carrot long enough, to then come back to a place where you're just tired of believing that the next moment is going to save you. And that's a beautiful thing, when you become tired and you just don't buy it anymore. And you're ready to just be this incomplete, whatever the mind has claimed you'll be if you just stop. But you're ready to be that incompleteness. And of course, once you go deeply into that incompleteness, you realize that this vast awareness that you are was never even capable of being incomplete, because it could never be completed, because it's limitless. But you eventually have to come to a point where, you're ready to call the mind's bluff, the ultimate bluff, right? Life's one big poker game, and You've maintained the poker face long enough. And now you're ready to put all your cards in, all your chips, I mean. I haven't played poker in a while. You know, you're ready to call the bluff, to have this illusion lay all of its cards down. And let the game come to an end. You've been at it long enough. It's time to just relax, be at peace, throw in the towel. The game was far overrated. Good to be with you again. I'll keep an eye out for the next message in the next TV show. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.